morning, gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you, as the map shows, the attack by Iran on the eight Sunni nations, the subsequent throwing of the towel by the Americans, and also what America is going to do when it has to face China. So, basic problem we will concern ourselves with to Iran. And now, what has happened is, as you know, the Strait of Hormuz, which I've shown you on the map, is blocked, and the Americans, despite all the effort they had, they couldn't really open the strait. And now there are more than 100 ships which are lying in one side, and despite using the best of the bombers which I've just shown you, the B-1, the B-2, the Lancer, and also the F-35, the Americans haven't reached anywhere. So it just about shows that in case you do have military power, it can take you up to one point, but not beyond. What you basically need is the infantry soldier who has to hold the ground. So, gentlemen, now the situation is so bad as far as I'm concerned that Donald Trump was feeling the pinch of the budget. That's number one. Number two, he was developing cold feet in starting a land invasion of Iran. That is putting boots on the ground. And despite putting almost, say, 20,000 troops in that area, he's not been able to move further. And on the contrary, he has called a pause of 5 days in the bombing with Iran. Now, this is a very surprising thing. Earlier, he had said that I will give an ultimatum of 2 days, and after that, I'll bomb the entire power infrastructure of Iran. बहुत अच्छा idea है, but you have to do something better than that. You have to execute it. And in war, it is execution that matters. That is how you go about the war, than just going and doing some bombing here and there on the Strait of Hormuz or something. And the Strait of Hormuz is still not open. And I've shown you this is this Central Command Chief of Staff, but unfortunately this general has not been able to do anything also. So it means something else, Despite a preponderance of naval power and air power, it is not enough to win the war. You have to have something else, and that something else is the ability of your troops to fight. That is number one. And after that, you need something more. You need finances to fight the battle. And the whole thing really blew up, and I think the Pentagon asked for $300 billion further money for the war, which was not available. And Donald Trump, which had thought that the war would be over in 4 days, has dragged on almost into a month, and he doesn't know what the hell is happening. That's what is happening. So Trump has to cover it up. He says it's a great victory. But I've yet to come across a victory where a man announces that he will give an ultimatum of 2 days and then extends it and says the pause for 5 days, and then he says we are having talks in Pakistan with the enemy. And now I will give you a little idea. Some of the people here who feel that America is great power, I agree with them, but it doesn't have the ability to execute. And I've just shown the South China Sea also. A similar situation could develop there also. China has been flexing its muscles to invade Taiwan. But again, let me tell you, Taiwan also can give a very good fight like Iran. And the Chinese would be studying the American campaign in detail. There's a little difference between the two, however. Whereas the Chinese have plenty of manpower and they can put boots on the ground, the Americans can't. The American army has now become what is known as, the Sahab army. I think hardship is not known. And they may be very tough, but they need the conditions for battle. That means they must have all the comforts of battle. And in battle there are no comforts, and that is one of the reasons the Americans have been losing. The second thing is the failure of the top leaderships led by the president downwards to have a single point aim. For example, in the Vietnam War, what was the aim? I don't think anybody was really clear about it. In Afghanistan, what was the aim? American General Staff and the President were not clear about it. As far as Afghanistan is concerned, I think they failed to realize that Pakistan was playing a double game. And there's one faction of Pakistan, the Haqqani faction, which was going and killing American soldiers. And Pakistan was giving lip service to the Americans. Look, we are with you. I don't think how anybody could be so fooled. Donald Trump, in his first tenure as the president, had clearly tweeted, and I read those tweets where he claimed Pakistan was a perfidious country, a liar country, and it had betrayed the Americans. But now he's singing praises. I do not know. Probably he thought that Pakistan will help put boots on the ground because the Americans can't put boots on the ground. And the net result, what he was thinking was, well, there is a good chance to conquer Iran with the help of the Pakistan army. And despite having killed all the Iranian leaders, some of which I've shown here, right from Ayatollah Khamenei downwards, they are nowhere close to victory, and that is one of the reasons what the Americans have done is to call a ceasefire. And now talks are being done in Pakistan. That's the biggest joke of all time. Pakistan is a terrorist state, and whole talks in Islamabad with Iran is another, bloomer. And at least one thing is clear, that Pakistan's failure to attack Iran once Iran had attacked Saudi Arabia clearly should show to Prince Salman that Pakistan is a two-timer. And if even now Prince Salman hasn't realized it, well, I have nothing more to say about it. That defense pact which he signed with Pakistan is not worth the paper on which it was signed. और ये fact बात है. Let's be very clear about it, that it's a very, very dangerous situation in the world. And Iran has survived. See, what is the basic aim and the principle of war? And that is the furtherance of the political aim. Now, the political aim of the Americans was a regime change in Iran. They have failed. They have accepted that they cannot do it. And now Trump is talking in a ludicrous manner when he says that there's going to be joint control of the Hormuz Strait between Iran and America. I think I could die laughing on a bed of nails that the American president should go around making such statements. It's very sad. I don't think Iran is going to have any joint patrolling or control of the Hormuz Strait. And what is going to happen is that ultimately the Americans are going to lose and they'll go away. Iran has built up a massive missile arsenal, and along with the mass missile arsenal, they have built thousands of drones. And this is what is called the cost-effective way of fighting war. I think here is a big mistake which the Americans did. Relying on missiles and pinpointed ballistic missiles has not really helped. You need mobility, and this mobility was with the Iranians. They had mobile launchers. They could move from one place to another, and the Americans didn't know it. I understand there are about 2,400 launches they had. The Americans could destroy about 1,400, but still there are 1,000 hidden in the mountains, in the crevices, in the caves, and the Americans didn't know it, and perhaps that is what went against Donald Trump. The cost of war became prohibitive, while for the Iranians, the war was pretty cheap, And Iranians could sacrifice their lives. Americans can't sacrifice. And even if one American goes back in a coffin, I think it's something which the American people don't like. They don't want to see their young men going in coffins. It's unlike the Russians, who lost 100,000 men in Ukraine. I fail to understand what Putin gained out of it. But this is not the subject of my topic here at the moment. And at the moment, I'm concerned myself what America has done. So America should have done their homework better. Their intelligence, I would say, was not up to the mark. It was absolutely poor. The assessments, when you do staff college, we carry out so many modules and studies and the best course of action. I don't know whether these were worked out in America or no before the attack on Iran. The net result of what has happened is that in Iran, they were at their wits' end. They had done everything. They destroyed the 3 tiers of the leadership. They destroyed most of the infrastructure. But then the crucial factor of putting boots on the ground, they were thinking they'll go and capture everything here on their own. But they failed the cardinal principle that the infantry soldier needs to hold the ground. And that is what Field Marshal Montgomery has said. The Field Marshal was very clear in his opinion. You cannot win a war. You may win a battle, but you can't win a war without the infantry soldier being on the ground. And that is the way they didn't have it. And I will say goodbye and God bless.